Okay, I do believe we are live, and I do believe I'm on the right internet here. So let me go ahead and get my email open up here because I've been closing windows like crazy over the last few minutes because I had so much crap on my desktop open. And that's too big to go over to this one. I got a vertical one over here, so it has to be small to fit. There we go. Okay, welcome to Shooting It with Yankee. As everyone who regularly comes knows, this is just a quick, well, not quick, it lasts like up to 2 hours sometimes, question and answer chat between me and my viewers where you can ask me pretty much anything you want to ask me, bring up anything you want to bring up. You can send questions over to shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com, or you can click the little dollar symbol down here and do a super chat if you want to donate to the puppy fund, or I don't know what we're doing today. I need to do one where I'm doing a pistol project so I can give away the rest of these stickers. Excuse me. Ouch. Choked a little bit there. Let's see here. Excuse me. Didn't turn the mic down for that, did I? Let's see if I've got any questions coming over on the other side here. Oh, before I get started, there's a couple of things I want to do. Let's see. Did I get an email here from Dan? Yep, here it is. I want to post this link. Now I'll be doing a video about this tomorrow, but this is a link to which you can go to. Oops, down here's my chat. And donate to help stop 1639 in the state of Washington. And believe me, even if you don't live in Washington, you got a fish in the fire here, because Washington is Bloomberg's testing ground. Anything that passes here, he tries everywhere else. So if you can spare some nickels and dimes, or nickels and boobs, as Peter would say, go on over there, make a donation. Did I get the wrong water? No, I got strawberry, kiwi strawberry. And help fight 1639. Don't be thinking that sending the money to the NRA is helping with those big fundraisers they're doing. They've raised like last time I checked, $166,000, and paid like 95% of it back to themselves. So not 95% of it did not come back to the state of Washington. It went into their own pockets. So donate directly to this cause right here. This will be to put up signs and just get the word out to people that 1639 is a threat to their Second Amendment rights and just their constitutional rights in general. And it might help it not pass, which would keep it from spreading to the rest of the country, because like I said, we are a testing site for Bloomberg. So I put that in there, and I will do a video about it tomorrow too. But if anyone can go over and donate a little bit to that, I would appreciate it. And so would the people running that GoFundMe page. Let's see if I've got any questions coming in yet. Something else I wanted to say before I get to questions. That I did tell everybody how to, you can send your questions over to shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com, or you can do a super chat, click on the dollar button, donate money to the puppy fund. Those questions will take priority and will definitely get answered. Well, depends on what they are. If there's something gross, they're not going to get answered. But most of my viewers don't ask too gross of questions. But I wanted to also say that, here, let me type this in here. DYMPPISDOLPROGECT.com. Let's see if I put that up as a link after I type that in there. No, it did not, but that is live now. If anyone knows how to put a link in there, if any of the moderators know how to go over to TYMPPistolProject.com and get that and load it over here with some help from Adam Jimmy Knees this week. I've been working on a website, and he kind of pointed me in the right direction to this program that could actually put it together. It's nothing fancy. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's something there now that we can point people to, and in a way they can send in their entries and tells kind of people what it is. I didn't want to get too gunning involved on it, like talking about the guns too much on it, because I didn't want it to get yanked off there. But New beard, bro. Starting it look like possums. No, I just need to shave. I usually stay shaving around this time of day, but around this time of year, people always wonder why I shave my hair shorter in the winter. Some people say, "Why don't you let your hair grow out in the winter? It's stupid to cut your hair in the winter." Well, no, because I wear we call them toboggan caps where I'm from, but stocking hats or whatever you want to call them, beanies. Some people call them. Wear those in the winter time, and if you've got a lot of hair under them, it itches like crazy. So it's better to shave your head and get a little less of the itch. So yeah, there we go. There's a link. Steadily put a link in there to the TYMP pistol project. Like I said, nothing fancy, but it'll serve the purpose for now. Let's see if it comes up over here. I haven't even loaded it live. I just did the editing on it. Oh, yep, there it is. And it popped up. Like I say, nothing fancy for now, but it will do the job. I had to go buy that, of course. Let's see here. I got some questions coming over here in email. And let's see what they are. Kimber question. Yankee, do you think it would be worth it to send my Master Carry Pro to Wilson Combat for refinishing and upgrades? Well, it's worth it if you want to do it. Do I think Kimbers need much upgrading? No, Kimbers are pretty decent to begin with. Like I've said in the past, I think Kimbers are more of a range gun, whereas like a SIG and a Colt is more of a carry gun. A lot of the custom guns are more better for range guns at first until you wear them in. I've had some custom 1911s in my life. I had one that was so tight, you could literally rack it back halfway and let go of it, and it wouldn't go forward. You'd have to tap it. It would start and go forward. It was so tight. That would not have made for a reliable gun, but man, was it an accurate gun. And if you put the right weight bullet with the right load behind it in it, it was flawless. But unless you did that, it was picky. Now that would have become less so over time, but right out of that box, those custom guns, if they're super tight, can be really picky. People want that super tight custom fit, and they realize that that little bit of slop is what gives it a little bit more of a tolerance to handle things. The tighter it is, the more precise you have to be with your loadings. But let's see here. Do I own a 10 millimeter Magnum? No, I own 10 millimeters, but not 10 millimeter Magnum. Vincent Jacob Scott, whatever this is saying, have you mentioned, you mentioned before you used to do woodwork, what did you make? And was it very profitable? Been doing a little word. Oh yeah, I've seen this picture you sent me earlier, a table you made. That table was really nice. Let's see if I can upload the picture and see if people can see it. Let's see here. I'll try to share it. This is the table he made his wife right here. And it's got the farm style legs and everything. So it's actually very nice from the side. It looks very cool. It's got the farm style. But I did stuff like that, but I mainly did jewelry boxes and smaller items, which was a lot more meticulous work, you know, little tiny details and a lot of dovetailing and pinning and stuff. It was fairly profitable, but it took a lot of work. I had to work a lot, and I had to pay for a booth at Saturday Market to sell stuff. And it was really profitable for a while, but then Saturday Market started getting a reputation of having cheaper and cheaper stuff, so it just wasn't profitable to stay there anymore. Plus, I got tired of having my fingers reattached, so I kind of gave up the woodworking. But yeah, it could be. But I did, like I said, I did mostly jewelry boxing. Jewelry boxes. I don't know if I've got any stuff open here. Let me see if I've got anything I can show as an example of like the type of stuff I did. It does not look like anything is coming up. I thought I had it. Oh no, here's something. Hold on. Let's see what this has got in it. I don't know where I'm at here, but oh, here's kind of a picture of one, and then I'll load up another one here. Here's like the front view of a box open. This was one of the first boxes I ever made, actually. Boxes are harder to make than most other things. And then let's see here. Oh, here's the top of one of the boxes. It's not the greatest picture, but this guy he had 3 dogs and he was a professional clown. So he wanted me to do a box with the top engraved with images of his 3 dogs as clowns. So he gave me pictures of his dogs, and I drew these little 3 clowns, carved them into the box, and then hand painted them and sealed them on top of a box. This is actually a gun box here. It's got an insert inside to put a gun inside of it. So that's the kind of stuff I did right there, like little custom stuff. I don't know if I've got any other examples there, but nothing that would be worthwhile showing, I don't think. I mean, I also did little things like, I thought I did one where I made corkscrew or corks. Maybe I don't have a picture of that. Oh, here's a, can you tell who my mom's a fan of here? Hold on one second. Where did it go? Well, fuck, I just saw it. Luckily, we got ours here. Okay, here it is. Can you see who my mom's a fan of? Here's a coffee table I made her. This doesn't have the glass on it yet, but it'll give you an idea. There's a coffee table I built for my mother. So, or no, wait, that one was for my sister. That one was for my sister. My mother's was a little nicer. This one, yeah, this one does have the glass in it. I insert a glass in this one. Mom's had a raised glass on it. So I did stuff like that, custom kind of stuff. All right, let's see if there's any gun questions now. I don't see anything coming in over here on the super chats. So let's go over to the emails. Scott Heckman. I am looking into a new type of carry ammo, trying to decide between Underwood or Fort Scott for a 9mm Brigadier Tactical. I know you've tried them both. Well, I'm going to have to say it's toss-up. I would probably give a slight edge to the Underwood because it's a little bit hotter, but I do like that tumble upon impact design of the Fort Scott. So that's going to be one of those, either way you go, it's not going to be a bad thing. So, oops. Phone's making a lot of noise down here for some reason. Under Scott Fortwood. Yeah, I don't think they make that. Oh, I'm on the wrong email address here. There I go. The guns I've always wanted and Yankee inspired me to buy, both getting green Piranha grips tomorrow. Oh, okay. Let me open this attachment and show this to people. This is what he always wanted to get and I inspired him to buy. And you can't really complain about this. I mean, that's great purchases all the way around. They're going to get Piranha green grips. I love the green grips. I think anyone who's seen any of my videos know I love the Hogue green G10 grips, and the Piranhas are a nice texture. So you won't get any problem with me from that. I'm not the most famous, infamous Tim Allen, and definitely no comedian, at least not one that people would pay to see. In binge listening to all your Shooting It with Yankee chats, I have learned some things in no particular order. They are: you were born and raised in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Yep. Spent some time in the U.S. Army with an MOS of 97 Bravo. Yep. Your favorite gun manufacturers are Beretta, SIG, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, and Chiappa. Well, that's a lot of them. The models of guns that stand out that you have mentioned the most are Smith & Wesson 686 Plus, 586 L-Comp, 327, PIG 320, P320, blah, 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 Ruger, Taurus. One of your favorite foods is KFC original recipe. Yes, most definitely. Some of your favorite candies are Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Yes, they are my favorite candy. Sweet Tarts and Smarties I like also. Last and definitely not least, you like animals better than most people. Well, that's not true. I like animals a lot better than pretty much all people. So you were close on that one, but you kind of messed that last one up a little bit. Why am I so far down in my list here? What's going on? Stump Floyd 51. Yankee, just got my first 1911 in stainless steel, and you do such a great job on matching your grips to your pistols. You bought just Greenfield armor. What color grips would go best on a stainless steel mil-spec picture of gun? Well, I have always thought on those guns, anything in the red category looks really good. Of course, so does pretty much everything. Stainless steel. The green looks good on them. The only thing I don't think looks really good on stainless steel is like desert colors, tan colors. Now the greens sometimes look good, but not the tans. But whoops, yep, I got the picture stuck, don't I? I keep forgetting to take the pictures down after I share them, and I also forget to close them on my desktop. I end up with 50 pictures open on my desktop. The fuck is this? Cancel that. Let's see here. Did I missed any super chats? Nope. So I don't got to answer any of those yet. We might have a short day today. I'm going to be done with the email questions and have no super chats. I'll be done in 20 minutes today, which would be great because I'm tired. I just got off the elliptical because I had waffles for breakfast, and whenever I eat anything with a lot of sugar in it, I got to go work that sugar out. So I had to spend an hour on the elliptical machine today and almost killed me. So Jim Craig, 40 versus 10 millimeter in Chris Vector. I've been seeing Chris Vector in 40 Smith & Wesson being discontinued to the point. Wait a second. I've been seeing Chris Vectors in 40 Smith & Wesson being discontinued to the point where I'm considering picking one up. Is it worth it to invest in 40? If it'll be my only 40, the Vector is also available in 10 millimeter, close to the same price. Well, if you can get it for the same price, I'd go with the 10 millimeter. I mean, why would you even want a 40 in a big giant like pistol Cadillac thing? Jim Umek, are you still diabetic? I'm still like what you call a borderline diabetic. It depends on which day you test me. But I have found that the best way to not clinically be diagnosed as a diabetic is work your ass off to get your numbers to where they're low, go to the doctor, get that in your record, and then just not go back to the doctor again. So I've been doing my best. I've cut out a lot of sugar. I don't drink sugared sodas anymore. I don't eat sugared cereals anymore. Which unless they're in front of me, like someone brings it in the house, I'm going to eat. Like someone brings Cocoa Krispies in the house or Fruit Loops, I'm going to eat those motherfuckers. That's why no one in our house is allowed to bring them in yet. Did you get the silver bullets loaded yet? No, I did not. Also, that diabetic question was from John Umick, who donated to the Puppy Fund. I was wondering if I should do the stickers today or not, but nah, I don't think I'll do the stickers today. It's going to be a slow, short chat, so I don't want to do the stickers. One chat I'm going to do where people who do a super chat of $5 or so will get one of the Pistol Project supporter stickers. But today's is going to be a little short, I have a feeling, so we'll save that. Well, maybe we'll do that next Sunday. That would probably work next Sunday. Let's see here. Am I getting any questions in? Which gun for toolbox dash gun, high 0.9 millimeter SD9 VE, $50 more? I'd still go with the SD9 VE. The high points work, but I would still go with the Smith & Wesson. No, I'm not going to say wacky waving inflatable arm flailing man fast. I've seen that episode of Family Guy. Let's see here. Hey, Yankee, I think I have a possible solution to your carry caliber doubts. If you have two similar identical 1911s in 45 and 10 millimeter, just practice with the 45 and carry the 10 millimeter. That way your wrist and ears will be saved and you will have fun shooting full power, and you will still have full power 10 millimeter when you need it. Well, see, the only problem I would have with that, I've considered that. The only problem I would have that is 10 millimeter and 45 shoot a lot differently, as far as trajectory and how flat they shoot. So I'm afraid that if I practice with my 45 all the time and then I go to shoot 10 millimeter, I'm going to be shooting over people's shoulders or heads. So I'm not sure if that's what I want to do or not. It is a possibility. And I did buy a 10 millimeter 1911 to carry for situations where I think I need something more powerful than a 45, like if I'm out in the woods or something. Is there such a thing as an all stainless Beretta 92? What's better, Italian or American made? Also, do weed for the Warriors again? Oh, yeah, we could do weed for Warriors sometime. Well, we could do that today. From this, well, I don't know if we'll be doing it long enough today. Well, it depends. However, if we go 2 hours today, or an hour, if we go more than an hour today, I'll donate the super chat money to Weed for Warriors again, because I haven't donated anything to them for a while. But to get back to The question he asked, this was from AMB 2317. There is not a such a thing as I don't think it's an all stainless one. There is an all steel 1911. It's very, or excuse me, not 1911, bred in 92. It's very expensive, and there's the steel. But I don't think the steel was actually all stainless either. It was actually a carbon steel with a proprietary coating. Then there's also one, I forget the name of it, but it's like a very fancy one, and it's very expensive. But yeah, as far as an affordable, like all stainless frame and slide one, I don't think there is one. And as far as what's better, Italian or American made, I have both. They are about the same. I know people say, oh, the Italians are so much better. Not really. They seem the same from a mechanical standpoint to me. You take them, if you took two of them apart on the table next to each other and went to put pieces back, you wouldn't be able to tell which piece was which. The only real difference I've ever noticed between them is the finish on the frame. The finish on the frame of the American guns is flatter. The finish on the guns of the Italian guns have more texture, but it's got a little bit more sheen to it. But that's the only real difference I've ever noticed. Joel Albright just ordered a 3-inch 686 Plus Deluxe. Considered putting a mirror finish polish on it. Would you do this? Would it get scratched easily from a leather holster? Well, it probably won't get all scratched that much. Maybe it'll get some scuffs on it, but it could easily just be polished right back out. So it's not going to make that much of a difference. So yeah, I wouldn't mind putting a polish on it. And if you're putting it in a leather holster, just make sure your leather holster, once your leather holster wears nicely, it'll probably not cause any problems. As long as you keep the inside of your leather holster clean. Now, people let their leather holsters get dirty sometimes and they start acting like sandpaper, but keep it clean, rebuff it up every now and then, you'll be fine. George Perry donated to the Puppy Fund also, and that was Joe Albright that donated to the Puppy Fund. Don't remember if I said that or not. George Perry donated to the Puppy Fund. Well, actually, it might be Weed for Warriors. So when you hear me say Puppy Fund, remember it's Weed for Warriors, but someone will remind me of that before the end of the chat. George Parody donated and says, getting a Taurus Raging Judge 454 Casull. Do you know of a good site to get chamber inserts to shoot smaller rounds? I don't, and I don't like doing that. I don't like shooting smaller rounds in guns that aren't chambered for them. I think you run into a lot of trouble with your rifling and with your forcing cone when you start doing that kind of shit. You end up with a lot of trouble inside your cylinders with buildup of stuff. So it requires a lot more maintenance to keep them functional. So I'm not a big fan of that. But I've got that gun. But if I got to shoot something small, if I want to shoot 357, I shoot a 357 gun. I don't want to haul that tank around to shoot 357 or 9mm. Let's see here. Vincenzo Lombardo said, new site. I missed the announcement. It's working, though. I'm getting emails already. Good. I'm glad you're getting emails already. I wish I would start getting donations already so that we can make up for what I lost over the Kavanaugh stuff. And no, I'm not taking that video down. People keep telling me, take the video down, even if it's just for the PY. No, not gonna. They never fucking think past the end of their nose. They don't think about the consequences of actions. They don't even understand, why are you so tight on this one guy when we could get somebody better if they rushed it through? And they're going to stick with him now and we're going to get him and hurt us in the elections, or there's not going to be enough, or he's not going to get through and there's not going to be time to do anything else. So and believe me, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm totally wrong, but I don't see Miss B being wrong on this one. Wish I was. Hope I am, but people need to start thinking about what they're doing and stop having blind loyalty to something. No one in the gun community would have had any loyalty to Kavanaugh if they just looked at him as a person. They'd be like, no, because this guy's pro-Patriot Act. He's pro-politicians are above the law. He's an elitist. He's one of these prep school rich boys. There's no way they'd have any loyalty to this guy. But because Donald Trump picked him, and Donald Trump didn't really pick him, it was establishment Republicans and the Heritage Foundation that picked him. They're tied to him. And I'm like, no, get somebody better. He's got too much baggage now. But people, that lost me. Good Lord. Last count I think about 100 patrons. I think I lost about 100 patrons. About $220 so a month, but well worth it. Speak my mind. I ain't going to change it just to make money. Labby 2, Yankee, do you think Kavanaugh's career will be over now, even if he gets confirmed, even if he's not confirmed to SCOTUS? I'm starting to think you're right. He's damaged goods. I don't think his career will be over. He'd go back to just being a sitting judge like he is now, like he still is. Because what he did does not disqualify him for being a judge or from being anything. It just carries a real bad taste right now if they push him to the Supreme Court, because there's tons of other people that don't have such baggage. And here's the other thing. If he did it, if like Lindsey Graham said, even if she comes in and I believe her, I'm not going to change my mind about endorsing him. And I'm like, what, are you fucking retarded? If she comes in and you believe her, then he's lying to Congress under oath. Then he doesn't need to be on the Supreme Court. So I don't understand where he's coming with that, but yeah, there's so many people out there so much better. There were people on that list that were so much better, and they're ready to go. Bill Corolla, I don't know what that is. Hey, Yankee, I have a Smithy 637 Performance Center coming in next week. Could you recommend a good SD ammo and holster? Love the channel. I always use for SD, I use, like I said, Underwood Extreme Defender or Penetrator, depending on which one you want. Fort Scott, Tumble Upon Impact, ammo, solid copper, or the Corbon DPX solid copper hollow points. Those are always my three go-tos. So that's what I would recommend. He says, love the channel, keep it up. Can you recommend a good SD ammo and holster? Oh, go on eBay, go on Amazon and look at 1791 holsters. Those things are freaking amazing. I found those recently and now I'm thrilled with them. Honest Outlaw, what's up, man? If you had to add 2 accessories to a Beretta 92, what would they be? Also, keep up the work with your charities and fuck the haters. That was from Honest Outlaw, who was on our chat not too long ago, a few weeks back. If you want to go see a chat with Honest Outlaw on it, I don't remember what we were talking about that day. Oh, that was tactical stuff. What would I add to a Beretta 92? Well, of course, the first thing I'm going to add to a Beretta 92, which is just, let's say we're starting with just a basic Beretta 92. I'm going to add the decocker. I'm going to add the special safety from Smith or from Beretta. I think it's what, $50. Makes it a Model D, makes it a decocker. And then depending on what type of gun it is, if it's one with, if it's a 92 Brigadier and it's got exchangeable sights, I'm going to put better sights on it. If not, probably better grips, because I'm not a big person of putting like lights and stuff on Berettas. So those would probably be my 2 biggest things: better sights and a decocker. Timothy Mouse is asking, do you carry your Wilson Beretta 92 Brigadier? No, my Berettas, I don't carry any Berettas. I would. I mean, I got no problem with carrying a Beretta, but for one, I prefer an all steel gun for carry. And Berettas are all metal, and that's better than a polymer gun, but it's still not as good as all steel, in my opinion. My preference, it's like, because I don't worry about weight and stuff. I don't worry about concealment all that much. I'm old, getting old, I can get away with stuff. If people notice I got a gun, they're just like, I just don't got a gun. I don't fit any of the profiles of someone who's going to be dangerous, really. What was I forget what the question was. Oh, do I carry the Brigadier? No, I would, but I just don't carry any of the 92s. They're kind of thick. They're more of a duty gun. Now, if I was carrying open in like a thigh holster, Beretta 92 probably be one of my first choices. But if I'm carrying concealed, it's something different, because they're a little bulky. But that bulkiness makes them amazing guns to shoot, but not as much a great gun to carry. Hey, Yankee, sent you an email about some Smith & Wesson grips. In the picture where you see the plastic cracked, I shot more 357 mag with that set. Okay, well, I'll look at the picture here in a few minutes. Let me see if I can find it. What's your name again? That was from Chris Batari. I don't see any emails from you. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Cheap Smith & Wesson grips. Let me see, buddy. Oh, these are the grips from the factory you're talking about? I don't see the crack, though. The grips might be. Let's see if I can get this picture and see if I can spin it. And those are factory grips. Oh, I see where it cracked. It cracked around the where the screw goes through. That's a weird place for it to crack. Hmm. Yeah, that's a weird place for a grip to crack. I don't know what caused that. Probably just a defect in the grips. Send them back to Smith & Wesson, make give you another pair. They will. They'll send you just call them, tell them, show them that picture and say, like, listen, what's what the grips that came on my gun did. And they'll be like, oh, okay, well, we'll send you another pair of those. Let's see here. I can't get off of this damn chat. There we go. George Parody donated $1 to the Weed for Warriors Fund. Let me see if I've missed any of the chats, because I was clicking on the top thing up there, not the $2 message was deleted by Justin Miller, but I don't know what it was. Why did he delete his message? That was Vincenzo Lombardo saying the site's working. Would tarnished silver rounds be more deadly? I don't think tarnished silver would be more deadly. I think anything between the silver and the werewolf is something you don't want. So I would not use tarnished, to be honest. Are you still diabetic? I got all of them. Okay, I'm caught up on those. Now let me go over here, see what's in the email. Charles White says, I graduated with a petroleum engineering degree in May. Any career interview or resume advice? Well, no, I don't know anything about being a petroleum engineer. I don't know what they're looking for. My biggest advice in interviews is don't be nervous. Just realize that you've got a talent and you've got an education and you got a skill that's in demand. Whenever I was getting an interview, I always tried to picture that I wasn't trying to convince them to give me a job. I was having them try to convince me to work for them, especially if there was in my profession, there was big demand, because there's not a lot of psychologists who want to work for nonprofits because it doesn't make you a lot of money. So whenever I went in for an interview, I was, like, convince me to work for you. Basically, as I was like, here's the skills I bring to the table. Here's what I've done in my past. Now you tell me why you think I would want to work with you. And it always did me well. Labby 2 Yankee, do you think you will add a Smith 1911 in black now that you have the stainless engraved? No, I'm not the biggest fan of black and Sig 1911s. I've got a few. I got a couple dark, not dark. That sounds racist. Darky 1911s. That sounds racist. Even though they don't really have a race. But I doubt I'll get another Smith & Wesson one. I just got that one to say F you, David Hogg, because the Smith & Wessons are kind of built kind of tighter than I like anyway. I like the sturdier, more usable designs of the Sig 1911s and the Colts myself. I posted a picture of that on Instagram today. That I don't know if I got anybody has commented on it yet. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's got some comments. I shouldn't be looking at it during this. Yeah, it's got like 20 comments. It's already got it's got 556 people have liked it so far. So yeah, if anybody wants to see it, just go to my Instagram page. I'm not even going to shoot that one or carry it. I'm just going to put it on it's on a little display stand over there. If you noticed in my last video, it's in the background of my last video on a display stand. That's where it's going to stay, so that I've got my fuck you, David Hogg gun in my videos. Apple blocked me from super chats, so me just patron now. Okay, that was some great English, but I think he might be from the Planet of the Apes. Might be from Planet of the Apes. On that note, then, will you look at the SIG TAC Ops in 10 millimeter? You know what I've thought of doing? I've kind of wanted to order a SIG TAC Ops in the 10 millimeter. So, I got a Kimber in 10 millimeter, but I don't know if if I might sell my Kimber in 10 millimeter and buy the SIG in 10 millimeter. And what I would love to do is send it back to SIG and just say, hey, could you produce this with your matte B blast finish, and then put it back together for me, because I would like to have it all stainless 10 millimeter, I think. I don't know if I want a black one. Of course, I could just wait for the finish to wear off the tack ops because it's all stainless steel. Or I can blast it off myself. But I'm getting so lazy. I don't like to do blasting. I get it. You get covered in it. If you don't use a blasting cabinet, and sometimes I'll just go outside and do it in the yard because I don't want to mess up sitting. I don't want to bother setting up the cabinet. I need to get my cabinet set up in a way I can use it more reliably. But you get it all over you when you do that. I mean, all over you. When you're just out using it, it blows back. I put goggles on so they get my eyes, but then it gets in your hair, it gets in your mouth. I have to put a breathe. I put a breather on, but then still it'll get like your mustache and then get in your mouth. And you're like, I crunching glass between my teeth when I'm eating dinner. And you get it just all over you. It's like sand and you can't get rid of it. Jason Stewart is asking, hey Yankee, what's a nice 22 long rifle? And he donated to the puppy, the fund. I don't know what we're calling today. What's a nice 22 long rifle pistol for plinking? Well, Smith makes a nice 22 revolver. I forget the model number right now, 617 or something like that. Also, the Rugers are really nice. I really like the Rugers, the single action Rugers in 22. Also, the 2245 is probably like the best, like semi-auto. I think just go out and get a semi-auto and be shooting. I like the buck marks from Browning a lot too. The stainless, the buck mark campers. I like those a lot, but I'm not really much of a 22 shooter. So, Jeremy Kohler says nothing. He just donated to the fund and didn't ask the question. And then I can't get off of his chat. I don't know why they've done this now. If you click on one to like bring it to the forefront, you have to click on it again to get it out. And if it's gone away, you're fucked. Like how they're doing this now. Let me go back up here. Oh, that's from about the judges. Okay, I don't need to read that aloud on the air. Thomas Guerrera, should we only use the TYMP Pistol Project website, or is it still okay to email? Well, it's still okay to email, as long as you don't email me at my personal address, as long as you use the TYMP Pistol Project at gmail.com. But if you go to the website, it's easier. It's just going to be easier for you. You just got to fill in your name, fill in your email address, write your story, and hit apply. So I think that would be a lot easier. Is there any reason you've started carrying SIG 1911 instead of the other Kimbers you have? Yeah, there's a reason why I don't carry the other 1911s I have. Most of them are Colt, and I don't want to carry my Colts. I want to keep them around to pass down to my kids. The others are my Kimbers, and those are more, I think of them more as range guns. And, those are if you want to make jagged little holes in paper. The SIGs are, in my opinion, built sturdier. I like the controls better. I like the low profile safeties on them. And they got the double safety, and I like having an ambidextrous safety, even though I'm not left-handed. I like having an ambidextrous safety on a 1911 that doesn't have that big leg on it that goes under the grip to hold it on. I don't like the fact that the grip is what's holding my safety on. So I don't like that. And SIG doesn't use that type. It uses the captured type. And I think that they are just built a little looser, if you know what I mean. They might rattle a little when you shake them, but they're more reliable. I've never had one of my SIGs fail on me, no matter what ammo I put in them. So my SIG 1911s, no matter what ammo I put in them. So that's why I choose those. I'm trying to read things here. Someone sent me some message, something. I don't see anything from them. The Kalalala, I don't see anything from them, email wise. Of course, it never comes through with the same name as they are in the chat. Seldomly, it does sometimes, but seldomly it does. Oops, someone got him a 329. Michael Oleg got him a nice 329. He just sent me a picture of it. Aaron Smith says, I think you're talking about the 92 FS Centennial. Yes, that was one of the ones I'm talking about. Very nice gun, but very expensive. Something I can't afford. There's a reason I don't have really expensive guns. I don't got the patience to save up for them. And I'm a firm believer. Here's a little thing. I find really expensive guns don't appreciate that much because you have to find someone who's willing to buy really expensive guns. The guns I've had that have appreciated the most are ones I haven't spent a lot of money on. So I think they're mid-range guns are actually a better investment in the long run. And here's the other thing. If I buy like say I buy a $4,000 gun, and with that money, I could have bought 4 $1,000 guns. Well, let's say tomorrow society collapses. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not one of those doomsday sayers, but let's say it does. And then I've got one really nice gun or 4 real nice guns. Well, the 4 nice guns are each going to be as valuable as the one really special custom gun, because a gun's going to be a gun, and any gun is going to be worth its weight in platinum or unobtainium. So I would rather have the 4 that are worth their weight in unobtainium than I would have the 1 that's worth the same amount. And plus, if I had 4, I could maybe trade 1 or 2 off for chickens or pigs or something and still be protected. Whereas if I just had 1, I don't have that option. And that might be weird thinking to some people out there, but that's how I think about it. In fact, I'm going to write it down here. So I can do a video on that. There. So I remember to do a video on that. If that makes sense to anybody, I don't know. It might not make sense to anyone, but that's the way I kind of think of it. 45 gap is a failed gimmick. Yeah, it was. That was a failed round. It's like, let's take a round that's kind of a little underpowered anyway and make it shorter, and just so it'll make it fit in a different grip frame. I'm like, nah, I'm not interested. Tripod tactical. I don't know what that means, what that name is referring to. If you could only have one, a P226 or an M9, which would you have? Well, that's an easy question. I would have the M9, unless it was the P226 Elite. If it was just a regular 226, M9, definitely. So, I mean, I just like the Beretta better. I think it's just, the Beretta is my favorite gun. So, my favorite semi-automatic gun. Let's see here. That was from Tripod Tactical. I think I said that. Mr. Scary donated also, and so did Tripod Tactical. I sent a question through email, subject Beretta 92 question. Curious about your thoughts. Let me see. I don't see any questions from a Mr. Scary. Let me see if I see anything about. Okay, I see one here. Well, I see why you used Mr. Scary instead of your name. Your last name is suggestive. Let's see here. I bought a used Beretta 92 and it has some wear on the barrel finish. Okay. I have seen vids about stripping the black finish and polishing the barrel. Would you recommend doing this? If you want to, it's easy to do. It doesn't hurt the barrel and it doesn't hurt the finish of it. It doesn't hurt it performance wise at all. It kind of looks kind of sharp. I think that every great once in a while, I'll see one of the Beretta 92s that are all black, but then they've got the polished barrel and it looks pretty fucking sharp. One of the things that looks really sharp when people do that is when they do, when they Cerakote the frame like a lighter gray, like a gunmetal gray, and then they have the black slide and the stainless barrel and then wood grips. So that looks nice. If people be like, "Oh, this got patchwork," it works together. Trust me, it works, and I like it. Let's see, can I get off of that? Yes, okay, I got off of that. I was stuck on it for a minute there again. How well does your 50 cal antenna work on your Jeep? It works fine. I don't have any reception issues anywhere. I have not found any issues with it. When I lived in the city, I didn't have any. So, but I thought, well, once I move up here, I'm not going to be able to get my radio stations and stuff. But I don't listen to a lot of radio. But when I do, I don't have any problem with it. The only time I ever listen to the radio is like if I switch over to NPR or something. No problems. Usually I'm on satellite radio, so it's usually not an issue. So I probably could not have an antenna. I wouldn't notice. But because that's a separate antenna. The Sirius antenna is up in the top of the roll bar. So, but it worked fine. When I was in the city and would listen to radio stations, I'd get them everywhere I would get them before. So I never had a problem. And I thought when I moved out here in the country, I'd have a problem. But no, I've listened to radio stations all the way up the hill and all the way out here and not had a problem. Of course, there are some dead zones where I can't even get satellite radio on the way up the hill. And those, they sputter out for like a second. Radio does the same thing. But boy, it looks sharp. That antenna looks sharp on there. I love, that's one of my favorite things I've ever put on my antenna on my car. That and the little red, the skull hub centers with the red eyes, the skull. So I love those. I love that 50 cal antenna. Plus, I don't like a big antenna flopping around those cheap, nasty antennas. So I like that little 50 cal antenna a lot. Let's see here. I got a bunch of email stuff open here. Let me close a bunch of stuff. Come on, Page, catch up. He doesn't want to. Well, there's so many things in this folder. I think I was downloading stuff to the wrong folder. Let's see here. Let's see if I got any other questions over here. Okay. I'm trying to read here to see if I got any questions. Bought my first gun, Brad 92 Brad 92 FS Inox, and I love it. But the trigger pull needs to be cut approximately in half. What do you recommend to accomplish this? And I think I will customize the look. Well, the only thing I would recommend you do is get you a nice spring kit, but don't take it down too much, because the single action is what's important on that gun, not the double action as much, because double action, single action. Just get you a nice spring kit. Don't try to take it too light. Austin Roberts is asking, he donated to the fund and says, what do you think about the SIG 1911 fastback Emperor Scorpion carry? Can't make up my mind if I want that or the P220 Legion in 10 millimeter. If I had to choose between the two, well, I own the P220 in 10 millimeter, but not the Legion version. In fact, I own two P220s in 10 millimeter. I own one that's double action, single action, and one that's single action only. But the fastback Emperor Scorpion carry, I don't know if the carry, does it come in 10 millimeter? I don't think it does. If you're wanting it in 10 millimeter, you're going to have to change what you want, because I don't think the carry comes in at 10 millimeter. But if you want it in 45, I would definitely highly recommend that gun. I like that gun a lot. That's what I kept wanting when I was going to buy a 1911, but it would never be there, and I didn't want to wait. So, let's see here. Let's go over here. Johnny Powell is asking, hi, Mr. Marshall. Sorry to hear you're finding shooting 357 Magnums painful. I was just wondering if the straight recoil of the Rhino was worse for you to shoot than the regular revolver with more muzzle flip. No, it's actually better, because I take the abuse in my palm instead of having to grip the grip so tightly. I would have thought that the regular revolver would be less painful to shoot. No, it's actually more so, because I'm using my fingers more to keep the gun, because, you know, you're pushing, pulling. You're pushing with this hand and pulling with this hand when you're trying to brace, or if you're like me and you're old school, you're just gripping really tight. But I try to do the push pull, but too many years of training for the grip it like you're trying to kill it. That takes a lot of finger work, and the straight to overcome the flip, the straight back into my palm, it doesn't take as much grip strength to overcome. So I like it better. Raymond Fairbanks is asking, Raymond Fairbanks is asking, do you still have plans to make a walk-in gun safe? You said that you hope to build one after you finish the moving into the new house. I would love to make one. Unfortunately, the space I was going to use for it got taken over by a gym for my sons, but I think I still have room in here to make one. I think I could take the back quarter of this room and turn it into a walk-in gun safe and just shift things this way a little bit. But I ran out of money. This is the bad part. So that'll be a while down the road. Michael Olay Hey Yankee, is it possible to refinish my 329? Well, yeah, it's possible. Uh, it's going to have to be like a Cerakote or something, a Ceramicote, or you're going to have to send the. I think the frame and stuff are still just regular aluminum. They're not scandium, are they? No, wait, they're scandium, I think, aren't they? So it's going to have to be something like that. But if you really want to do it, and here's what I always tell people: if you want a gun refinished and you want it refinished right, send it back to the manufacturer. It's usually way cheaper. Like I have paid Cerakoters 200, 300 bucks to recoat a gun. Whereas when I send it back to the manufacturer, it's usually like 80 bucks. It takes a little longer sometimes. A lot of custom guys are slow too, but they do the best job sending it back to the manufacturer, and they'll usually give you a cheap. They'll do it cheap. They'll send it back to you pretty quick. I think last time I sent a gun in, I sent in a 629 to Smith & Wesson to have it reblued, to have it refinished. And I think I got it back in 2 weeks. Like from the day I mailed it to the time I got it back was like 2 weeks, and they did a perfect job. So send it to the manufacturer is always my advice on refinishing. Unless you're going to try to do it yourself. If you're going to do it yourself, buy yourself some Ceramicote. Watch some good videos on how to do it. Fire up the old oven and put a coating on it. You can always take it off and redo it later if you want to. Did anyone ever figure out what Shalabal was asking, or Connell Law, or whatever their names? I keep on saying Shalabal. That's Silver Surfer's girlfriend. So they said they would try again, but I'm not seeing any new emails. In fact, I haven't had a new email in 20 minutes almost. Well, 15 minutes, I guess. The last email I got was 15 minutes ago. David G, yay, 45 ARP, best for us old people 45 and up. It is great for people like us that have joint issues and stuff. And you can get powerful enough ammo to make it very effective. I mean, 45 is not like it's not effective. It's just not the best at anything. Does it penetrate hard barriers as well as 40? No. Does it expand as reliably as some hard 9mm? No, not usually. Is it as good against certain obstacles as certain 9mm? Not always. But it's one of those calibers. It's good at everything. You're not like saying, oh, it's a bad caliber. It's just not the best at anything. So if you're wanting a specific performance from a round, you'd probably, like if you're looking at, I want the best round at this, or I want the best round at that, or I want the best round for this, you're probably not going to choose 45 because it's not going to be the best in any category, but it's often going to be like the second best or something in every category. So it's one of those, if you say, I just want a good general caliber, it's definitely in the running. Sent you an email about TYMP pistol project need. Okay, let me see what Vincenzo Lombardo is saying, I have had a couple of judges who have not weighed in a few weeks, and I am looking to replace one or two of them with more reliable people. Can you make an announcement in the chat and have people send in to me if they are interested in being a judge? Yes, everyone can contact Vincenzo Lombardo. I guess he'll have to put his address in here, or unless he wants me to put his address in here. Contact him about being a judge. He's in here right now, so you can contact him right now about being a judge for the TYMP Pistol Project, and then make sure you let me know who it is, because I already packaged up the envelopes for the judge stuff, so I'll have to make a couple more if you get a couple more judges. Mad Custom in Bremerton, Washington for Cerakote. Okay, here, let's see. Was it a super chat? I didn't see a super chat. Let me go over here and look at my super chats real quick. Make sure it did come through. Because I've been having some problems with fucking YouTube. Let's see here. Put a link in a new tab. Where is it? There it is. I can't see around my microphone. I brought everything over here today, so I wouldn't have to look around my microphone. So I'm having trouble looking around my microphone. I'm betting it was probably when I was doing one of those Aha, Con Lala. I'm sorry if you can please discuss my Kavanaugh email. Okay, there it is. It did come through, so let me go over here. It says, "Hi Yankee, I appreciate how you talk about anything on your videos, but I would like to say how you said that Judge Brett Kavanaugh nomination should be withdrawn. I disagree on that. How you said that suburban women would not vote Democratic because of they will vote. They would vote. Okay, how you said suburban women would vote Democratic because of like this. People that don't want to vote Republican already made up their mind. See, that's such a falsehood. People make up their minds every day. That's why we have elections. Uh, and if Democrats can dictate their terms in Congress, that will suppress Republican voters because they realize that the Republicans have no say over anything. What to say they won't try that to another nomination. See, here's the thing. This nomination isn't being side railed by just random accusations or just bullshit. He's being sidelined by a very credible accusation, a very poignant accusation for the Me Too time we live in, making him a very damaging candidate, a very deadly to the party candidate. And to say that people have already made up their mind, no, especially not women. Women change their minds a lot when it comes to voting. And like if they say the Republican Party, just watch what every time Donald Trump makes a sexist tweet, watch the polls drop for women. And it takes time to recover from that. And if they appoint Kavanaugh without proper hearing right before the election, they ain't going to get over it. So it would just be stupid. Because here's the biggest fear is that they try to push him through. They stay to him. He gets through. We lose the midterms. That's my biggest fear. Or there's actually another fear that they try to push him through. He doesn't get nominated and he doesn't pass through and it still hurts the midterms. That might even be worse. Whereas right now, if they cut their losses and push somebody else through quickly that's already on the list and already ready to go, like that female lawyer, whatever her name is, judge, whatever her name is, who's actually Second Amendment and not pro Patriot Act. So I disagree with you completely. Because like I say, it's a falsehood to think that people have already made up their mind. There's 40% on one side that have made up their mind. There's 40% on the other, and there's 20% in the middle that haven't. And that's who everybody's always fighting over. And right now, a good half of those 20% have been pissed off by Donald Trump in one way or another. And adding another 1% from women who get pissed off about Kavanaugh is not a smart thing to do, especially not right before an election. Period. Like I said, hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be. Is that the winner that just got sent to me? Did you send me the winner, Vincenzo Lombardo? Because I think that might be the winner. Okay. Let's see. Did I miss anything over here? I haven't been paying attention. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything because I have not been paying attention. Nope, doesn't look like I missed anything. Saw the one from Mr. Scary. I saw the one about the antenna. Okay, I'm caught up. So let's go back to emails. What time is it? It's 5 o'clock. I guess we've gone at least an hour. So we'll probably be doing Weed for Warriors. I'll probably make the donation next weekend or maybe I'll do it this Thursday. Because by then I should know how much the super chat was for this chat. It usually takes like 3 days for it to update on YouTube. YouTube is fucking slow. Mike Draws, I was told to only ever buy one gun as to become proficient as hell with what you will be defending yourself with for self-defense. This way I not find myself in a situation I won't have to stop to think about what I'm carrying. Your thoughts on this? That's garbage. It's absolute and total garbage. Here's one thing. Owning one gun in no way guarantees mastery of that gun, for one. Because most people tend to just get proficient and then they think they're done training. Or practicing, I should say, not training, because it doesn't require anybody else, just practicing. When you train on different guns, when you practice with multiple guns, you broaden your skills and you learn how to do more things. Like it's like someone who learns to drive on an automatic and now can't drive a standard. Why would you do that? Why would you limit yourself to just automatic cars? So why would you limit yourself to just one gun? What if you find yourself in a situation where, you know, it's a bad situation and you have to pick up something that you just found on the ground during this bad situation? Maybe someone else's bad guy dropped their gun and you got to pick it up, and then you fail to use it successfully because you don't know how to work it. So that, and that's just as likely as that whole one gun will make you a master. That's garbage. That's just total garbage. In fact, I've never seen a master of the guns, you know, someone who is like a world record holder or something who owns one gun, period, or shoots one gun. I added a high vis front sight to something. Is it too high when I can't see what you added it to because model 66. You put too much of your information in the subject head and I can't read it because I can't make my thing wide enough. Okay, here it goes. I added a high vis front sight to my model 66 and now it seems like it is too high. When I line it up with the rear sight, is this a known issue? Which high vis sight did you put on it? The big dots, or what did you do? I mean, because, you know, there's different ones, but if it's made for your gun, it should be the right height for your gun. It should be the right height for your rear sights. So there should be, I don't know, but without knowing more about which gun you got sight wise and what sight you put on it, I can't really answer that. Matt Skeen says for the puppies, but I don't know if it's going to be for the puppies this week. It might be weed for warriors. 92 FS Fusion thoughts. It got me hard. It got me hard until I saw the tag, until I seen the tag. It's amazing. That's one of the other ones I was thinking of, the really expensive one, the Fusion. That gun is beautiful. I would love to have it, but I will never spend that much money for it, and I will never own it. Unless Beretta came out and said, we want to thank you for being the biggest Beretta supporter ever on YouTube. Here's your free Fusion. That's the only way I'd ever get one. Or unless, you know, someone left one in their front seat and left their door unlocked or their car door unlocked. Because, you know, for that, I might become a criminal. I doubt it, but, you know, there's a chance. Let's see here. John Stewart, rip Bill Ruger Jr. Did Bill Ruger Jr. die? I didn't know that. Poor Bill Ruger got a bad rap. A lot of people are always like, he's just as bad as Springfield Armory, what he did. No, Springfield Armory went and actually helped get laws passed that would hurt other businesses and hurt private gun owners. Bill Ruger went to Congress and tried to talk them out of passing laws outlawing all guns that hold more than so many rounds. Instead, he said, hey, we don't have to make magazines with more than 10 rounds. We can always just make 10-round magazines. And then we don't have to put a ban on certain types of guns. People can still keep their SIG guns. They'll just have 10-round magazines. You know, basically that. He didn't say SIG guns, but that's not the same thing. Compromising when you've already lost, when you're about to lose the fight, is not the same thing as going out and creating, you know, a bad situation for others with benefit to yourself. Ruger didn't benefit from that. Springfield Armory was benefiting from what they were doing. But I didn't know he died. I didn't know he was still alive, to be honest, but I didn't know he died either. D. Spiegel said, what did that say? Seeple? D. Seeple says, for the weed, not for the puppies. Timothy Mouse says, thoughts on Beretta Storm compact carry? Oh, I like the Beretta Storm, PX4 Storm. One of my favorite polymer guns, period. As much as I can like a polymer gun, you know, it's kind of like it's like redheaded stepchild kind of a thing. For as much as you can possibly consider a redheaded stepchild your own, I can love the PX4 Storm because it is, it's great. I mean, I like the double action, single action. I like the way it's laid out. I love the rotating barrel. I like the way it carries. I like the way it shoots. Just like everything about it. So can't really say anything negative about it. Make sure I didn't miss anything, because the like the $2 ones and stuff have a bad habit of slipping by. So I always have to go back and make sure I didn't miss any, like the $1.99 ones or anything like that, because they don't pop up at the top of the list. If I don't see them when they pop up, I won't see them. The 329, I saw that one. Yep. Okay, I got everything. Now let me go back over to emails. I'm hoping to make a video promoting the TYMP Pistol Project website tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. Well, probably tomorrow. And I also need to talk to Tim, Military Arms Channel, because he said he would do a video promoting the website. That'd be the first prominent gun channel that did. they don't. Like, I don't understand why some of them won't, like Iraq Veteran or Mr. Guns and Gear, etc. But they seem very resistant to the idea of promoting the charity. And I absolutely have no understanding why. And yes, I know the website's not fancy. Like I said, it's just what I could throw together today. Not knowing websites. If it wasn't for Adam Jimmy Knees, it wouldn't even be in existence, because he's the one that kind of started talking back and forth with me, told me, you better have the name bought. And I went, crap, gotta go buy the name. Went and bought the name. And then he said, well, this website builds websites, blah, blah, blah. And we went over some, he helped me, kind of talked me through what I wanted on the website. And then I threw it together today. So we're lucky we have that. Justin, lower bore axis and lower recoil. Who's he talking to? Hey, Yankee, for some of us novice guys, what does a rotating barrel do? Well, like he said, it's lower bore axis and less recoil. It's lower bore axis because it doesn't have to tilt up, so that helps make it a lower bore axis. And two, since it doesn't flip upwards, that you don't have that energy flipping upwards in the end of your gun, you just have it going more straight back. So it just helps. So it's good. It's a good gun. Snark, I have changed my mind. Being closer to retirement, I have taken your advice on one thing. I don't need such a big collection, and plastic pistols will be first to go. That's what I did. I got rid of most of mine. I got rid of some recently. I'm even closer to having no plastic pistols now, because how do you think I funded some of these 1911s? Got rid of some guns. I'm thinking about even selling my Strike One, and you can't get those anymore. And apparently the replacement's a fucking dud. I had to worry about those guns anyway, because the Strike Ones were awesome, and they needed nothing changed on them. You could do some cosmetic changes to them, which is the Archons are basically just as, or whatever they've been called now. It's just a cosmetic changes. They said it was going to be more than that, but it's just cosmetic changes. But it took 3 years to get these things to the market. 3 years, an already established gun. That tells you something's wrong somewhere along the line. And it's apparently not panning out too well now. According to Military Arms Channel, they're not real reliable. A lot of light primer strikes and other problems. So I ain't rushing out to buy one, that's for sure. And like I say, I'm thinking of even getting rid of the, see, I've got two. I'll just get rid of the one. I'd get rid of the speed and I'd keep the stainless one. I'm also thinking about getting rid of my custom Glock, like the one with the skulls on it and stuff, because I'm like, I don't use it for anything. Fuck, don't get. In fact, the little muscle brake or whatever you want to call it is over here in the drawer. See, it's got the skulls. I know it's really blurry, and you probably won't be able to see it, but there's the little skulls and stuff on it. That's also on the slide of the gun. It's an awesome gun if you want a custom 1911, or not 1911. Good God, I got 1911 on the brain. Glock. The compact carry, hard to operate, the low profile decocker on my minus. I think he's talking about the lower profile decockers on the PX4 Storm. The ones that come with are like big wings, and on the regular ones, I don't like those. And I also don't like the low profile ones that are so flat in. They make one now that you can buy directly from Beretta that is a 92 style safety lever or decocker. So I would get the one that's the Beretta 92 style. In fact, that's the one I had on mine when I sold it, was the 92 style decocker. Thought on 7 and 8 shot 357 Magnum. Love them. They get a little thick and a little heavy sometimes, but love them. Love them, love them. I even want the Ruger ones. I want that Ruger GP 100. but haven't been able to get one yet because the one that came into my dealer's got bad milling on the top of the barrel, so don't want to buy it. And you ain't gonna buy it, and he ain't gonna order another one until he gets that one. Oh, he did send me an email today though. Oh man, I heard this here. In fact, I will. Let me see if I got it on here. I think he sent me a text message. Was it in the email or the text message? He mentioned this. And I want to show you what kind of a jerk my dealer is. Luke just says he has $12,000 to spend at Les. Also, just told Luke he has $12,000 to spend at Les Bear to get us set up as an elite dealer. Wanted to do this for a while, and STI rep is the dick. Oh, I should have read that part. So Les Bear is the next premium 1911 for the store. Thank you for your consideration. What a dick, because he knows I love Les Bear. Knows I want a Les Bear custom 45 in stainless bad. So what a dick. So, wow. So I might be having to sell off some more stuff here recently. I could sell that Kimber. No, I don't love that Kimber anyway. But that's the kind of shit that happens around here. That's the kind of shit I go through. Charles Keister says, what is a good 9mm subcompact, single action, double action, hammer fired pistol? Well, I don't know about subcompact, but the SIG 239 is awesome. It's single stack, but I would call it compact, not a subcompact. As far as subcompact goes, I don't really know of any I think that fit the bill as being great and single action, double action, hammer fired. I'd have to think a lot, and I don't want to think a lot right now, but I'm going to think a little, see if I can think of anything. This is my thinking face. It looks like it's also my constipated face. So it is really, if you see it, you got to figure it's one or the other. But let's see what, and that, wait, who was that from? That was from Charles Keister. I said that, I think. I'm trying to think of subcompacts that are, most of them are striker fired that I know there's subcompacts that are any good. I don't know if FN is their subcompact. They've got the subcompact that's striker, don't they? That's a nice little gun, but it's not that tiny because it's kind of thick. But that would probably be one to look at. The CZ Rammy, I don't know if I consider it a subcompact. I mean, I guess I would because it is small, but it's so thick and so heavy. It's just such a you're not really saving anything. I would just get a compact. I think for something to be truly subcompact, it has to be a single stack. Because if you've got subcompacts that are double stacks that are just as thick as the full size guns, just get a full size or just get a compact or a full size. Because the thickness is a problem. European style paddle mags are superior. European style mag release is superior. Don't ever try to change my mind. Well, I wouldn't, because I like paddle mags better, or the mag release. Paddle mag release is better. That's one of the things I like most about like H&K. I love the paddle mag releases. That's what I liked about the first PPQs was they had the paddle release. So yeah, I much prefer the paddle release. I like it a lot. I think it's easier to operate. I think it's better placement. I think it's harder to activate it accidentally, like the ones on the, you don't accidentally activate it just by gripping your gun too tight in the wrong spot. So I like it much better. Let's see here. Net Flutter. Do you think the bigger channels don't help promote the pistol project because they are so used to getting a check before promoting anything? I don't know if it's that. I think a lot of them show stuff they don't get paid to promote. I think most of them don't get paid to promote. They get sponsors and stuff, but I don't think that's it. How much for your strike one? I ain't selling it yet. And plus, you wouldn't want it. Trust me. It's ugly as fuck. It's black grip with gold slide. It's ugly as fuck. Hey, Yankee, do you think polishing out only the barrel on a 92 FS Inox would look nice? I don't know if it looks as nice on the Inox. I mean, it gives it a little bling. If I was going to do the barrel on the Inox, I'd probably do the controls too, but and the trigger. But on the black gun, there's that big pop of bright stainless steel or bright steel right there. And remember, when you high polish something, a lot of people will get upset, even if it's carbon steel. If it's carbon steel, they'll think I can't high polish it because it's carbon steel. It's not stainless. You can high polish carbon steel. And the very fact that it's high polished, like even when you high polish aluminum, it still resists corrosion as much as like coating it does, just about, because what it does is it smooths out all those little areas where stuff would get stuck in and cause corrosion by flattening it out, which is what gives it that mirror surface. So it's actually a type of anti-corrosion protective surface to high polish it. So yeah, you can do it. It looks nice, but that's not got anything to do with the question that was asked, I guess. I think I went off on a rant. Taurus PT 111 G2, is it a good gun? I don't have a lot of experience with the Taurus semi-autos. I know Taurus in general has some quality control issues, but as far as the general gun, if you get a good one, I've always noticed that most people think they've got a good one if they do get a good one. So I've never had anyone that actually owns one really slam them that much to me. I've had people who don't own one slam them a lot, but I've never really had anyone that owns them slam them to me. I've never seen anyone shooting one to range and they just go, oh, it's a garbage gun. I've always seen them be like mostly happy with them. So that's the best I can do on a recommendation for Taurus, because I just really don't have a lot of experience with them. CZ75 compact or PCR for CCW? Well, I think I like the PCR better. I just the something about the proportions of the 75 compact don't strike me as much. I don't like them as much as I do the PCR. So I think I would go with that. BJ Weed, gun porn. Hold on, let me open it so people can see that it's gun porn. There we go. There's BC Weed's gun porn. What did he say here? I picked this up for 190, and I was wanting to get your opinion on the Ruger LCP with the inline laser. Yeah, it's got the laser on it right there. I got no problem with it. I think LCP is probably the best little polymer pocket gun around. I mean, it kind of started that whole trend of going back towards that kind of a gun. It was kind of like, hey, here's what a Kel-Tec would be if the Kel-Tec actually worked, is what it was when it first came out. So I'm pro, I guess I would say. I can't get off the damn chat now. See, this is what I'm dealing with right here. See, let me show people here what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm trying to do. There's a super chat up here, and I clicked on it when it was up here to get where I could see it. Now I can't get the damn thing to close. See, no matter how much I click, it's not wanting to. See if I go to live chat, which was what I thought I was on the first. Nah, won't let me get out there. Finally got off of it. What a bunch of bullshit. Let's see here. Let's see if I missed anything. I don't think I did. What trigger do you have in Gary? You know, I don't remember what trigger Gary has. I know it's not the stock trigger. I don't remember what I got in though. It's been so long. Labby is saying, Yankee, another woman just came forward with allegations that Kavanaugh exposed himself to her in college, that he just stepped down as a nominee. Yes, he should, because here's the thing. In my experience as a professional, I've never met many people that had only had one credible rape story against them. If it was something that they did like in college or high school, because there usually tends to be multiple instances and it just takes longer for people start coming out when they come out. Some will be credible, some won't. I don't know if this person's story is credible yet or not. Haven't looked it over. The first story is very credible. Even Mitch McConnell and all those other people are like, yeah, she's credible. So I don't know if the second one will be credible or not, but it ain't going to help. That's for sure. And he was one of these privileged prep school rich boys that thought they could get away with anything, that, you know, that the slogan of his college is what happens here stays here, you know. So it's very much we're the elite institution, and I'm not going to be surprised if his behavior was not pristine in high school and college. Now, like I said, I still don't think it's anything that would disqualify. If you're someone who has owned your mistakes in your life and said, wow, in high school and college, I was a dick, then I'm like, yeah, that's past. Glad you owned up to it and glad you learned from it. But if you're someone who's now 50 and will still lie about it under oath, yeah, you're a liability, dude. So yeah, I'm not a fan. I have not seen that because I have not watched the news today. I got up, made myself waffles, then started trying to put a website together, which was hours and hours of me being very frustrated. And then I went and got on the elliptical, and then I did this. So I have not seen the news or any type of television today. Every now and then, we got a pretty good crowd today. We've got up to 600 people at one point today. For a chat that started off slow. Let me see here, make sure I got everything caught. We demand a Desert Eagle desk pop. Maybe sometime, but we'll start saving the desk pops for special occasions. I don't know. I don't got anything right here right now to do a desk pop with because I haven't had a gun on me all day. I'm sure I've got one over on the table over there. Let me go see if I've got a gun on the table over there. Just for the sake of seeing. I've usually got something over here I'm working on. Yeah, I've got something. I was testing a holster. Yeah, I had a holster right over there. It's one of those 1791 holsters. That's a nice looking holster too. I got it in the stealth black this time. Now this one is for the ones with the rails, and it lets the 5-inch stick out just a little bit on the bottom. I think I would get a 4-inch if I got another one with the rail. Like maybe that Dan Wesson Specialist. Oh man, that's a sharp looking fucking gun. Or maybe I'll find a less bear now that they're covering it. But had this one sitting over there. Love these holsters from 1791. Glad I found them. For when you don't want to wait for a long time for a custom holster. This sucker's solid, well made. I wish it was a little longer. It's more set up for a commander size. I think it works for, oh well. It works fine. I don't mind having a little bit of barrel sticking out the bottom. I think it's sometimes a fashion statement to have a little bit of your barrel sticking out the bottom. Let's see. It's very flirty, that's for sure. Mike Ivy says, please know I am willing and would like to know how to contact him or simply pass along. Thanks for doing what you do, Mike Ivy. You can actually send him a message in the chat here, in the live chat. Just type at Vincenzo Lombardo and his little name will light up in front of it. And you can send him a little message via there and he'll contact you. Because I don't want to give anybody's email address. I just feel weird about that because then I'm like, are the compact CZ75 series as nice as they look from Net Flutter? Yeah, these guns are all as nice as they look. Not that I'm in love with the looks of the CZ guns. I don't think they're the most beautiful gun ever made. I think in some way they're kind of plain and awkward. The way that one side of them, because the frame comes up over the slide instead of up under it, it kind of gives you this big flat billboard of a side on one side, and it's just got like a safety and or a decocker and a lever there, and it's not a long lever; it's kind of short. So and sometimes they look a little plain to me because of that, but they function like fucking crazy. They're built like tanks, so you can't really complain too much about that. It's just something that's inherent in their design. And the only problem with that design to me, though, is not that look doesn't bother me too much because I'm like, I'm willing to accept that for the design and how well they work and how well they're made. But it does make it hard for me to grab the serrations at the back of the gun because you lose some slide size and I end up grabbing the frame. So that's my only problem with them. Say Papa's in. Also fund the pups for you, the man Yank. Why would I say Papa's in? Oh, Papa's in is the name of the person who just donated to the puppy fund. That's why I would say Papa's in. Also fund the pups, you man Yank. I think tonight's going to be Weed for Warriors, but don't worry, there's pup money still going out. Let's see. I can't believe I actually got this Gmail 45 AARP. Yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't been taken already too. I would think that was something that I should have grabbed at it myself. Now that I'm getting old, someone says tactical flip flops. Tactical flip flops, real rule. But when I'm on the elliptical, I wear tennis shoes. I've got tennis shoes on today. Because, oh, I should have done that. Oh, that wasn't fun. But I have to put tennis shoes on the elliptical, or my flip flops come off sometimes because I get going real fast and I come out of my flip flops on the down pedal. Now on the treadmill, I'll get on treadmill and walk, or even like a light jog in flip flops, but I can't wear flip flops on the elliptical. I've got that Bowflex elliptical thing, and it just my foot comes down my flip flops in it, so I got to put on tennis shoes for that. Can you do a full disassemble video for Shadow 2? I mean, I could. You mean like field strip it, or do you mean like detail strip it? I'm assuming is what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I won't see why I couldn't. It would be a very specific video. It wouldn't appeal to a lot of people. Of course, a lot of the little videos I do that are like how-to videos don't appeal to a lot of people. And I try to do more of those. I've been trying to do more recently. I used to do more, and I've been trying to do more again lately. Just answering questions and showing like little procedures, like changing out a mainspring housing, because I think too many of the bigger channels don't do that stuff. They don't get into the actual mechanics of the gun. And I don't know about anybody else, but I get so fucking bored of just like, here I am shooting another gun. I'm like, okay, well, fuck. At least tell me how the gun comes apart, or show me something about the gun that's interesting or something. Show me you refinish it at home or something. I'm just, Sporting systems. Fuck 1639 and billionaires buying laws. I wonder if they heard me saying fuck them a minute ago for becoming a Les Bear stocking dealer. Oh, that's going to be hard on my wallet. See, the thing about Les Bear, though, Les Bear makes awesome pistols. You know, he doesn't get as much into the fancy, the decorative stuff as like Wilson or Nighthawk or anyone like that, because they make great guns too, and then they make them like refined looking. Wilson's guns are more, or not Wilson, but Les Bear's guns are more simple chunks of steel, but they're beautiful in a simplistic way, and they're amazingly made. And here's the thing: like a Les Bear stainless Stinger, let's say. If you go out and buy a Kimber all stainless steel compact gun, or a Dan Wesson all compact gun, you're paying between $1,200 and $1,600 for it. You pay another $300, $400, you got a Les Bear that's a custom made 1911. So I mean, it's down in that same. It's in that. Well, in fact, it's in the same price range as a lot of the Dan Wesson guns, because a lot of them have creeped up that $2,000 range. So it's just a little bit more than paying for like a Dan Wesson, but you get more for it, in my opinion. Although the Dan Wessons are great guns, I'd rather have Les Bear. Although I'd like to have a Dan Wesson too, but I can't afford my Dan Wessons either. Yeah, let's see here. But they said, and remember, everybody, I don't know if I posted it earlier in the link. Let me see if I can find it again. So I post the link again for anyone who wasn't here earlier, because when I posted it the first time, we only had like 200 people in here. Now we're getting closer to like 600 again. So let me see if I can find his email he sent me with the link to. Oh, wait, I don't think he sent it to this email address. I think he sent it to this one. Yeah, there it is. Let me repost the link to the GoFundMe page to fight 1639 here in the state of Washington. Because like I said, even if you're not in Washington, this is a bill you want to fight, because it is a very bad bill. And Washington is Bloomberg's testing ground. What flies here, he takes elsewhere. So if you got a buck or two to spare, go over there to that webpage I just put up there. For the GoFundMe page for the Shall Not Be Infringed Fight 1639. And I will do a video tomorrow on it too. Hickok 45 is a washed up NRA FUD cuck. I wish I had his subscribers for someone who's washed up. I would love to have his subscribers. I would like to have his patrons. I'd love to have as many patrons as he has. Love to have as many patrons as Tim has. Of course, Tim's got a crew. I just got me, but I still love to have as many as Tim has. Don't be a. I started to say don't be a fluffer. It says don't be a duffer. You should be a fluffer. I don't know what a duffer really is all that bad. So, will you be liquidating your big bores anytime soon due to your arthritis and general old foginess? I need that 40 Smith & Wesson Bear kit. No, I'm not getting rid of those. Those are going to my kids. They're going to shoot those. I'm hoping my grandkids will shoot those someday. I would love to live long enough to see my grandchild, male or female, shoot that 460 someday. That's my goal in life. Favorite food? Well, it's probably watermelon. Other than that, it's fried chicken. And then other than that, it's steak. I ate watermelon. I've been eating watermelon like by the ton lately because it's that season. And as much as I hate to admit it, I don't like going to Walmart, period. I don't like shop at Walmart. Don't agree with the company. Don't like being in there. It's depressing. The people in there, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Were they born under power lines or next to a coal plant or something? It's like everybody's got a fucking limp and everyone's got like a bum leg or a bum arm or something. Something's weird about every person in there, or like they're missing an eye or they got 2 teeth. So I don't like going there, but they sell good watermelons at a reasonable price, like a good size watermelon that's good quality for $5. If I go to Fred Meyer's, I get a watermelon about this big for $9. And it's like a cantaloupe size. And I'm like, fuck that. I buy my groceries here and then I go to Walmart to get my watermelons. Costco also has good watermelons, but Costco's like a chore to go into. I got to really want something bad enough to go into Costco because it's just like, it's like a half a mile back to what I want. And then I got to walk around and then I end up getting stuck looking at stuff, or whatever. And then I forget what I came for. And then it's just, I got to go back again to get it. And then I got to walk all the way up to the front. It's just a nightmare. Costco is. I know some people love it, but it's a nightmare for me. But that was Loki Rising. That's what my favorite food was. I think most people knew it was fried chicken watermelon. I'm not really big into pizza. Someone said pizza. I like pizza. I mean, I'll eat pizza, especially if it's good pizza. Like here's like a New York pizzeria here in Vancouver that's really good, and I can eat Papa Murphy's, and I kind of like Papa John's because I like that sweet crust. But pizza's not anything I ever like. God damn, I want some pizza. Pizza, I'm always like, hey, there's pizza. I'll eat that. Or I don't want to cook tonight. Let's have pizza. That's what pizza is to me. It's not anything I ever like. I gotta have me some pizza. True West Virginian. What are they talking about? You going to Smallfoot movie? No, that movie is so stupid looking. Why do the Yetis have fucking horns? I mean, I've never seen any reports ever that have said, yeah, the Biggie was 7 feet tall and hairy and big old feet and big old horns. They threw me with the horn shit. They lost me. So I'm not going for the horn stuff. I am anti-horn. So that ain't happening. I'm not going to go see it. If they wanted me to go see it, they should have put fucking horns on Bigfoots or Yetis. I don't know what they were thinking. And they don't even have like the same horns. They all have like, they made it like, well, you can tell them all apart because they all have the different horns. I'm like, what kind of species has like, everyone has something different? Just like, what the fuck? Yeah, Red Baron. We make those Red Baron pizzas. My son loves the Red Baron instant pizzas. I keep some in the refrigerator because every great once in a while, I'm just like, fuck y'all, I ain't cooking dinner. And I don't care if you're hungry tomorrow or what, but from now till tomorrow morning, you're on your fucking own. I'm like, you're 14 and 20. I think you can feed yourselves. And this doesn't happen but like once every 2 weeks. But I'm like, you make whatever you can make. And my youngest can actually make himself some grilled cheese or, whatever. The oldest is helpless. He has to eat a Hot Pocket. But the youngest also loves those Red Baron pizzas. I'll keep those in there where it comes with 2 pizzas. Like they're both like personal size pizzas. And he'll make those. Sometimes they'll both eat one. Yes, like to see a detailed disassemble for Shadow 2. CZs are not the easiest guns to take apart. And I do have videos where I take CZs apart. There's one video where I'm changing the hammer on my CZ75B, which is a very similar disassembly. It's not a fun job taking a CZ apart. Now the CZ Omega is easier to disassemble, but I like the regular CZ75 trigger better. But yeah, it is not fun taking apart a CZ. They are great guns, but they are not the most simplistic design. I would much rather take apart a Series 80 1911. You know, I find that little two-piece safety in there to be far easier to deal with than a CZ as far as disassembly, as far as sealed stripping. Walmart tries to be a gun-free zone. Well, they don't succeed. I can tell you that. Make them learn how to cook, Yankee. The youngest one's learning how. The oldest one has no interest. And that's kind of what I've been trying to make them do, is by when I say, hey, I'm not cooking tonight, you're on your own, I'll make sure there's stuff in there they can make. And the youngest one will do it. The youngest one will even grill stuff. Like he'll take hot dogs out and grill them, or hamburger out and grill it. The oldest one's just lazy and just wants to be fed, and he'll just grab a Hot Pocket. If you click on a super chat bubble, it opens and closes it. Clicking anywhere else won't close it. Yeah, but sometimes the super chat bubble disappears before I close that super chat, and I can't get to close. Beretta is easiest to take down. Berettas are pretty easy. Yeah, Berettas are easy to take down. This is going to sound weird, but I've always found revolvers are far easier to field strip or to detail strip than anything else, because basically once you're ready to put a revolver back together, you just lay the gun on its side with the open side up, and it's like putting a puzzle together. You put all the little pieces in place, they're there, and then you just put the side back on. The only thing that's hard to put back in is the spring, but everything else just slides right into place. They overlap with each other, and it just choop 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 choops like a child's toy almost. Then you just screw the side back on, and it's together. Guns like semi-autos, it's like I gotta hold it just right, and I gotta line up all these 3 holes, and I gotta get this pin to go through without hitting this other thing. And it's just, revolvers are easier to take apart, put back together, in my opinion. Why is a place that sells guns a gun-free zone? Why is any place a gun-free zone? I have never heard a good reason for any of that. Since you've lived all across the country, are there any local specialties you can't get in Washington that you crave and would consider traveling to eat again? Waffle House. Whenever I'm on the road, I always eat at Waffle House because we don't have them here. I love Waffle House. I would go to Waffle House even when I wasn't even drunk, and I would go to Waffle House. I love Waffle House. I always got waffle with the thin cut pork chops, over medium eggs, and white toast. That was what I got every time, and loved it. Mash up those over medium eggs, put them on the pork chops, and some toast. It's just and a waffle to start with. It's just the best. But as far as Waffle House, probably the thing I missed the most. Now, when I first got up here, I couldn't get Dale sauce, couldn't get Long John Silver's, and I missed Long John Silver's. But we have a Long John Silver's now, so it's an hour drive from me now. But still, I'm over there every now and then to see my sister, so I can get it when I go over there. Have you looked at Melba Ketchum Bigfoot forensics? I might have, but I don't remember things by name like that, so it would have to be more specific. Let's see here. Sell Gary to me from Pinch Me Vampire. No, I'm not selling. What do you call a sober guy in a Waffle House? The designated driver. Yeah, I was that a lot in Waffle House. There'd be a lot of times we'd be out partying and we'd go get someone to go get something to eat, and I'd have to be the designated driver. Everybody's drunk. And I was the only one who didn't drink, so I would always be the sober one at the Waffle House. Waffle House at 3 a.m. That's usually about the time we went. But I'd like to go there for breakfast and lunch too. I was not just a late night Waffle House person. Denny's is gross. C50. The only reason Denny's still exists is so that toothless hookers will have a place to hang out behind. Yeah, the buckets anyway. Because I took it outside the other day. I took it out in the yard. And it's even got a little hole in the very edge of the lip of the bucket right now, because while I was out there, my son said, "Can you throw the lid up in the air and shoot it?" And I wanted to see if I could. And I couldn't hit it dead center, but I nicked the edge of it. But that was about as close as I got to hitting it. And that was after 3 tries. Because it didn't fly straight. It would just like, flip over and go. It didn't go straight up in the air for some reason. Can we get a welfare check on Gary? Well, maybe next chat. I ain't going out to my car right now. I think it might be raining. Our Denny's closed and turned into a Mexican restaurant. Well, that happens sometimes. Have I been sent he did send me the Pistol Project winner. So I'll get that out Wednesday. We'll announce the winner here in a few minutes. Have you given the gunsmith at the bottom of the hill any business? No, not yet. And I keep trying to think of something I could have him do. I'm thinking next time I need some sights removed or something, I'm going to go down there and have him do that, and maybe put some new sights on or something. Maybe buy some sights from him and have them put on. But I just haven't had a chance yet. So I've still been so busy. And every time I think I'm not going to be busy, like something like my son will get sick or something. You've mentioned good bonded 40 makes a great round. Feel kind of dumb asking if it's something people are born knowing, but what does bonded 40 mean? Well, bonded means that the jacketing on the round is actually bonded to the lead inside. It's not just folded around it. There's actually adhesion between the two things. And I'm trying to read my messages here while they just sent me an email, a text message saying my vehicle's ready. I picked it up yesterday. I had to take my Jeep in for service yesterday. Not because something was wrong, just because it was due for service, because I was hitting 20,000 miles almost. I've had it for 2 years, put 20,000 miles on it. Took it into service. Let's see here. I'm missing some chats. The Joshua Project. That's a weird name. What kind of influence has your background in psychology and social work had on your parent style? Not much, to be honest. When abnormal psych was my minor, or was my major when I was in undergraduate, and I'm trying to find a way to word this. If my kids were so screwed up that I needed to have my psychology degree, then I'd be in bad shape. My kids aren't that screwed up. So I just parent basically based on how I was parented, only I try to do things better. Like I don't hit my kids. My mom used to beat shit out of us, but I don't hit my kids, mainly because it makes me feel bad. It just makes me feel bad. Doesn't seem to alter their behavior at all. So I just don't hit my kids. But as far as parenting, it's based more on the way I was parented than it is anything I ever learned in school, because you find yourself slipping back into the habits of things your parents did anyway. I try to be more involved than my parents were. I try to be more understanding than my parents were. I try to be less hot-headed. And I've got the ability to do so because I'm in a better place in life than my parents were when they were parents. My mom got pregnant when she was 14, had me when she's 15. So they were not exactly parent material, which is why I ended up being raised by my grandparents for many years. But my mom was always struggling to survive, working multiple jobs under a lot of stress. I don't have that because she raised me right. I was able to go out and get an education, and, because she kept me alive and fed for enough years for me to do my own thing. I don't have those problems that she had. So, but as far as my background, no, I don't. My kids aren't messed up enough to that any of my experiences with the homeless. I worked primarily with homeless youth. They say youth, but it's not like 8-year-olds. It's usually between 15 and 19. So my kids weren't screwed up enough that those experiences actually translated over into my parenting too much. Now, do I have an understanding of why teenagers do the things they do? Probably more so than most people, but it still doesn't really alter how you react to it. That's more based on your personality. So I just don't think it has had a lot of effect. Tom Stone, where does the separation of U.S. Constitution and state constitution begin? Seems I should have the right to anything in the U.S. Constitution, but if my state does not allow it, I'm screwed. Well, that's the way it should be. The federal constitution should overrule state constitutions in any circumstance. Like, that's the way I feel about the Second Amendment. When the federal constitution clearly states your right to own a firearm shall not be infringed, states do not have the right to infringe on your constitutional rights, your federal constitutional rights. You're not a citizen of Alabama or a citizen of California. You're a citizen of the United States. You live in Alabama or California. You're a resident of those states. So I just don't think they should be able to counter anything that the Second Amendment says. The only thing I think states can do is grant you additional rights to what the federal Constitution grants you, or can define rights outside of the Constitution, but it cannot override the Constitution. And that we've been losing sight of that a lot in recent years. So, and it's not just with guns, it's with voting, with a bunch of other stuff. So I think we need to get back and start slapping some states back down and say, yeah, state rights are great, but you don't get to override the Constitution. Let's see here. I should probably start to, I can't get off his fucking chat. There we go. Check out the bonded versus non-bonded does. Gold Saber has both variations. Yep. What the bonding actually does is it usually keeps the bullet, the jacket from separating too early. Like if you're shooting through a windshield and a non-bonded bullet the jacket might peel off as it goes through and they just get splattered with lead. The bonding keeps it together, keeps the cohesion usually through more like a hard barrier or something. So that's why I like bonded bullets. Trying to see what's going on over here real quick. The gold dots are bonded. 6.5 centimeter or 300. You choose. Let's see here. Oh, that was from Jack, who donated to the weed fund tonight. We're buying weed. We're not actually buying weed. Don't anyone panic and say, oh, they're buying weed. We're donating to an organization that I don't know, do they actually provide weed for veterans? Maybe they do. Or do they just lobby for weed for veterans and provide them medical access to weed? I wouldn't care if they just bought truckloads of weed and just gave it to veterans. I'd be fine with that. I got no problem with marijuana. If I had to choose whether my kids were going to smoke marijuana or do pills or drink alcohol, I would much rather them do marijuana, except for my older son, who it almost kills every time he does it, because he gets the cannabinoid hyperemesis, because he's my sister calls him nature's defect. He's nature's pussy because he can't handle cannabis. She's like, she even went as far as getting him a shirt that said defective on it. But yeah, he can't do that stuff. So I'd rather my kids do that than drink or take pills. Pills is way down a bad road, especially not anything I don't want them injecting anything. Marijuana is relatively safe. What I tell my kids is, I don't have a problem with marijuana, but if you touch it before you're 25 and I find out, I'm going to kick your ass, because you are still mentally developing until you're 25 years old, and you do not need any more strikes against you when it comes to brains. So stay the fuck away from the shit till you're out of college. When you're out of college, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Or you can do whatever the fuck you want while you're in college, but then I ain't writing the checks anymore. So far, my oldest has wanted me to keep writing the checks. Let me see here. Did I miss anything? Don't think I did. Drug test kit. Oh, I drug tested my oldest one before. He found out real quick that I wasn't kidding when I said, you go get a drug test, you come back from me. If I ever catch you hanging out with that kid again, I'm going to drug test you. And I did. And he passed it. I think someone may have given him the answers, but he passed it. Let's see here. Let me try to find the Pistol Project winner, that Ben Kenzo. Ben Johnson. Hey, Yankee, I've been considering joining a local gun club. The holdup is first-year member dues are almost $500. The other is that they require proof of NRA membership, and I don't support the NRA, but it's really nice range. The only place I could shoot outdoors near me. Is it worth it? You have to decide that, whether you're willing to support the NRA to shoot there or not. I'd be starting to make trying to make waves. And then maybe once you join, you start making waves about not requiring the NRA membership. A lot of ranges are stopping doing that now because they're not getting as much money back from the NRA as they used to. So they're stopping doing that. So maybe you should talk to us about that. CBD has all the good stuff. Well, THC gives you the high, but the CBDs, that's good for pain and good for nausea and good for other things. It's like those chocolates. They're in my refrigerator back there that my sister left here. They're CBDs because she bought those for headaches and back pain. Now, when she wants to get high, she buys stuff with THC in it. So if I wanted to get high, this wouldn't do me any good, which I'd be glad because I don't like the high you get from marijuana. It makes me feel loopy. I just feel like I'm living in little dissected moments of time. It's like it's not linear. It's just like little chunks of time I'm living in, and I don't like that. Let's see here if I can find the email that he sent over. Kenneth Swan got some new grips for his SIG. Yeah, he got the green grips. Those are nice. I like those. What's that? The SIG Ultra Compact 45? Huh. There's a two-tone of that gun, stainless slide black frame, that I think is awesome. But I don't know if I'd carry a subcompact 1911. I might. Okay, we're going to announce the beneficiary of the TYMP pistol project. Oh, and if anyone's out there that's listening has been a beneficiary of the TYMP pistol project, and you're okay with me using your picture, send it to me once you get the guns, because I'd love putting them on the webpage now of people that have actually received the guns. So let's see here. Here is the entry from this week's beneficiary. Hi, Yankee. A coworker told me about your TYMP pistol project and suggested that I should send in my story to you. I work in a store in a strip mall, and there was an incident recently in the store right next to ours that really opened my eyes to how defenseless I really am. A man walked in, pulled out a gun, and asked for the owner of the store by name and said, God told him 4 people had to die today. That's not good. God's a dick. If he did that, I'm not saying he did it, but but the guy's saying he did it. If he did it, God's a dick. Luckily, the owner. Well, if it was just like only 4 people were going to die that day, that probably wasn't as bad, because that'd mean a lot of people didn't. That's less than usual, I think. Luckily, the owner wasn't there, and the scumbag ran off and was later caught by police. After this happened, and so close, literally 10 feet through 2 sheets of sheetrock away, our boss says if we were comfortable, she would allow her store employees to come to work armed. Well, that's awesome. Unarmed, you are at a crazy person's mercy. I have been considering purchasing a gun and getting a CCW, but it never comes together. We have a mentally sick child, and it's a struggle to just pay the bills and her medications. I know my story sounds very similar to many stories that I hear you read every week, but I sympathize with every one of them. Thanks for reading my story. That's the beneficiary. What's the name? Justin S. Haven't we given one to a Justin before? Oh, that's not the same Justin. Yeah, when you're supporting a child that's got disabilities, that's not fun. Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, since you do have a child with disabilities in the house, make sure you use that safe. If that gun is not on you, keep it in the safe. And don't be like, well, I want to have it readily accessible. No, if it's somewhere if that kid's around, lock it up or keep it on your hip. If you're in the house and you want it readily accessible, wear it. Buy a holster and wear it. Now, if you go to bed at night, lock your door and put it on your dresser. That's fine, because your kid's hopefully not going to come in if you got your door locked. But don't ever leave it just laying around, because you got a kid in the house that obviously has a disability too. So make sure not to do that. But that is the beneficiary for this week for the TYMP Pistol Project. Just wanted to reiterate to people that the TYMP Pistol Project website, for what it is live now. Also, go over there to that link let's see if I still got it. I'll put it up one last time. Yep. Follow that link to go over to the GoFundMe campaign to fight 1639. They're trying to spend as much money as possible to get the word out as much as possible to kill this bill. This is a really dangerous bill. And like I said, if it passes here, it's coming to you next, likely. So get out there and help if you can. I would never ask anyone who can't, but if you can. And let's see if I got it. I've got 4 more minutes here. Let's see if there's any questions coming in over here. Up there with that, an email just came in, but it's the Vincenzo Lombardo sending the response to the person. Now he did say that the website was working because people were sending entries through there, so that's good. Is it true that OxyContin can make you deaf? What? I'm not that big of an expert on OxyContin, so I mean I've never been able to prescribe medicine because I don't have a medical degree. I'm not a psychiatrist. They have medical degrees. They can prescribe medicine. It probably could. I mean, lots of things can cause you to go deaf. Dead and death. Yes, it can. I mean, I can see lots of things where there were a lot of effects of opioids that would have effect on your hearing. So I think it'd be very likely that they could make you go deaf. Can you do a separate video on it so I can come back to the link later? What are you talking about? About the I-1639? I am going to do a separate video on that. I'll be doing a video on that tomorrow, and be doing a video hopefully tomorrow on the TYMP pistol project page. So trying to get all that done. I've only drank one bottle of water tonight. That's probably why I haven't got to piss so bad right now. A lot of times in my chat towards the end of it, even if it's just an hour, or especially if it's a 2 hour chat, people will notice I start getting a little edgy towards the end. It's because I'm about to pee myself. I want to start just keeping a bucket down here for something other than clearing into. I guess it would still be a clearing bucket, just different type clearing. But let's make sure I haven't missed any super chats real quick over here on my list of super chats. Nope, I got all of them. Across the country, civilians, your favorite food. Okay, yep, I got all those. Let's see here. Of course, getting messages here. They're not important. The Richard Sims web address. What's he asking about? Web address. What's the TYMP web address? The TYMP web address is TYMP Pistol Project. PISTOLPROJECT. TYMP Pistol Project. All one word.com. Very easy to find. It'd be nice to see more funny vids like what you used to do back in the day, hiding in closets, having guns having sex, etc. I still try to think of something to do, but it's not as easy to come up with. I've done a lot of stuff. I always try to add a little bit of comedy to some of my videos, even if it's just a picture or something. But I've been thinking, I got some ideas here for some more comedy videos. But here's the thing: they take fucking forever. They're a lot of work, and we live in a time right now where I'm being overwhelmed with other stuff I need to talk about. So, but believe me, it comes around every now and then. Usually comes in spurts. Self build. I can't even get the email to open fast enough to see it because I'm in such a. I can't get your web thing to open fast enough. That was from Don't Be a Fluffer from earlier. They're duffer. Let's see. Google Glock grip short and fail. What? Google Glock grip short and fail. Oh, Google Glock grip short and fail. I was like, what are they talking about? Belly button carry. My belly button ain't that deep. I could probably get up to past my first knuckle, but that's about it. Do you recommend suppressors for home defense? I think suppressors are awesome for home defense. If you've got the gun next to your bed that has a suppressor on it, then you don't got to worry about blowing your eardrums out if you shoot somebody. So I think suppressors are awesome for home defense. Fuck yes, suppress for home. Yeah, I agree. Fuck yes, suppress for home. Subsonic 300 blackout is about as weak as 45, but it'll get the job done. Subsonic 300 will definitely get the job done. That picture popped up. Let's see if I can get it to load. Let's see what he's. Let me see if I can flip it. Tools, rotate left. There we go. Because before it was the wrong format. Why do people take pictures up and down? What in the world is ever set up for up and down pictures? It looks nice to me. Let me see what other people think. It's got a hollow sun on it, which means it's basically a SIG. There we go. There's his build. He's got even a flashlight on there, which I like that when you use the rails for flashlights like that, because you can take them off if you need to. It's not just a gun light. Got him an interesting looking trigger there. I'm not sure who makes that, but looks like he's got a is that an actual suppressor in there? And then he's got it must be because it's got a short barrel and a brace instead of a stock, which I'm not a big fan of. I'll just pay the extra $2 and put the stock on because I like a stock better. Inside mittens carry. I don't know what you're talking about there. Let's see, what are we at time? Oh, we're past time. I'm sitting here looking at pictures of guns and we're way past time. So I just want to say thanks to everyone for coming tonight. Thanks to everyone that donated to the Weed for Warriors little fundraiser thing we did tonight. And Thursday, when I announce how much we raised for Weed for Warriors, I'll do a desk pop. Or does everybody definitely want one tonight? Or does it matter? I don't got it. Well, I do. I got ear protection here. Let me see what everyone says here. Mellow Radio. What did Mellow Radio ask? They're asking if I answered their question. I don't know what their question was. I don't see a question by them. I only see that one comment by them, but did I answer their question? What was that noise? I think that might have been me. I don't see any questions by Mellow Radio. No Despop. Despop. Don't. Despop. Until next time. Well, I guess we're going to save it for a special occasion. So, no Despop today. I'm getting kind of half and half there. No Despop, more no Despops. But thanks to everyone for coming. And we'll definitely do one Thursday when we announce how much we won for the, because I think I was doing them too often. Got a little carried away. But thanks everyone for coming. Thanks to everyone that donated to Weed for Warriors. Thank everyone that supports me over on Patreon. And the ones that left because of the camera thing. Fuck you, you little whiny bitches. And I guess that's it. So thanks for coming today. I'm glad we had our chat. I'll be back again Thursday for a weekday edition because this is not our podcast this week. So I'll see you all again on Thursday. And until then, I'll just say, see you later.